Hey guys, this week's video is dedicated to all our brothers and sisters in the land of Israel. Happy Hanukkah on this last day. I hope it's been an amazing Hanukkah for you and your families. I came across this idea. Somebody was writing that they felt they had missed an opportunity and they were doubtful if it would come around again. They weren't sure. And I think most people in life have these moments, right? Where you feel like you missed your shot, you missed your opportunity, and we wonder, will we get a second opportunity? Will we get a second chance, right? We make a mistake, will I have an opportunity to make it right? And so let's look at this week's Torah portion. What does Judaism say about second chances, right? Parsha Miketz it's a wild parsha. We have Yosef, who's in prison on trumped up charges. And in this week's Torah portion, he's elevated to the second in command under Pharaoh of the entire Egypt. The biggest, it's a fascinating turnaround. Like, you don't see this anywhere. Even Hollywood wouldn't be able to come up with such a storyline. And in the Torah portion, we have Joseph's brothers, the very same ones who sold him into slavery, coming down to Egypt to buy food because there's a famine in the land of Israel. And they don't recognize Joseph, and he recognizes them. And he wants to put them through a test. He wants to see, have they repented from their ways? And so he asks about their family, and he finds out that his younger brother Benjamin is back home with Jacob, with his father. And then he takes Shimon, one of his brothers, as collateral and says, if you want to come back here, bring me your younger brother so I know you're not lying to me. Now this is a tall order. The brothers come back and they know Jacob is not going to let Benjamin out of, his favorite wife Rachel only had two children, Joseph and Binyamin. Joseph had been sold into slavery. He's been told that he's been killed. So he's not going to let his youngest out of his eye. He's not going to let him. And what's interesting is that the same dynamics that took place years earlier, that set in motion Joseph being sold into slavery, is happening again. Why did the brothers sell Joseph into slavery? It's because they were jealous that their father Jacob was favoritizing. He was making him his favorite son, and he was openly, showing favoritism to Joseph. That's why they sold him into slavery, at their expense, right? He was showing favoritism to Joseph over them. And here we have a similar situation, right? You have Benjamin, and you have their brother Shimon. And again, Jacob is showing favoritism to Benjamin over Shimon. Shimon's being held in Egypt. If they don't bring down Binyamin, if they don't bring down Benjamin, he's going to stay a slave in Egypt. And again, Jacob is showing the same favoritism to one child over another. But what changes in this story? What goes differently? Is Yehuda steps forward. And instead of acting out of jealousy, which had led to the mistakes the first time around, he says, I take responsibility. I will make sure he is brought back, otherwise I am responsible. So many times in life, when we're talking about second chances, etc., it's that moment that we learn the lesson from the first one in the same exact situation. When we encounter the same exact triggers that led us to make mistakes the first time around, but we react to those same exact triggers in a different way, that's where changes happen. Yehuda, the brothers, the same exact triggers were present, yet they reacted this time around, they reacted to it differently. When we're worried about if we missed a boat, we missed an opportunity, we missed a chance, there's really no way to know if we'll get that same exact opportunity. But more opportunities will come around. More situations will come around. Similar, if not the same exact. We will encounter similar triggers that led us to mistakes the first time around. How did we learn from the first time around? Right? If we keep reacting the same way and keep making the same mistakes, we're going to get very frustrated. But if we're able to react that one time, react differently, break that cycle, break that chain, now we've just transformed it. Now we've just changed. Shabbat Shalom, my friends. A happy Hanukkah. Let's take the lesson of Hanukkah, which is persistence. The Jews were persistent, and even when things were looking, tough, they stuck with it, and God stuck with them. So, as we go through life and we go through all these different ups and downs, and we feel like, I should have done this, I should have done that differently, there'll be other opportunities, there'll be other chances. Let's make sure that we're ready for those opportunities. Shabbat Shalom, Chag Sameach.